I'm not a show. Like, my entire life isn't devoted to entertaining other people. It's supposed to entertain me. Like, some people go about life thinking they're the main character of their own film. I'm like, yes, to an extent, but why can't that film make you laugh while you're in it?
The following is a podcast with Hunter Lewis. He is a fellow student in my comedy program at Humber College for comedy, writing, and performance, and is the funniest person I know. He recently won the scholarship for Promising Future in Comedy Writing. I hope you enjoy the podcast.
All right, what up, fools? This is the Joe Pedrosa podcast. I don't remember the number because I haven't done this in a hot minute.
Fair enough.
But I am here with another student. His name is Hunter.
Hello.
Introduce yourself. I know we've only been in class together for like 2-3 days.
Right.
Or a week. We've been in class for a week together.
Mm-hmm.
I know some information about you. You went to Toronto Film School. How did you start getting into the whole filmmaking, the whole comedy world?
Yeah. So I guess, going all the way back to childhood, obviously being influenced by, like, amazing comedians and the movies they're in. Like, for example, the biggest one for me is Chris Farley.
Chris Farley.
Yeah, huge Chris Farley fan. So, like, watching...
He's under 27 club.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to join that club. Yeah, shoot. No, but, like, watching movies like, Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, like, that was a huge inspiration to, get, like, that mass amount of energy just in the blink of an eye. So I took to that kind of all throughout school. Like, I tried to, like, whenever there was like a presentation or like an assignment like that, I always tried to spice mine up a bit more so everyone like in the class would remember mine a little bit better. So
what would you do?
Some were really bad ideas.
Like,
looking back,
let's hear some of them.
It was, early in my entertainer days. How about that? So for example, I was doing I was in grade 8. I went to Dale Road in Coburg, and our presentation was, we basically had to pick a country and do a presentation on it. And I'm like, all right, easy peasy.
Yeah.
I do my presentation. I did Ireland, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's the Emerald Isle, whatever, cool. And then at the end, I just put a bunch of memes. Yeah, no, that was not ideal to come back. But I'm like, but they might appreciate it.
It'd be kind of funny.
Yeah. The thing is, it was like, they were like the Facebook mom memes.
Oh, yeah, back in the day. It's like the top and the bottom text. It's
exactly.
like fry and shit.
Shoot, our teacher was like super into hockey. So I remember one of the memes, it was the Lord of the Rings one, and it's like, one does not simply beat Canada in hockey.
Yes.
And I'm like, looking back, that's really stupid. I mean,
the time was like very meme like. Yeah, I remember that.
So like things like that all throughout school. I really took off more in high school. I was more keen toward my drama classes. We did a play. We did Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And
who'd you play?
I played LeFou. Gaston's.
Gaston. Oh yeah, Gaston. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. What was funny was that 2 summers beforehand, I did Beauty and the Beast Junior at the Capitol Theater in Port Hope, and I played the exact same character.
Did you?
Yeah. So she gave us the script. I'm like, I got this.
Oh, you got it.
In the bag, So we're doing like a cold read so that she can get an idea of where everyone's enthusiasm's at, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
And so they're like, all right, Hunter, do you want to read for LeFou? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So I break it out, I crack the paper, I'm like, yeah. And I just get like, I had like this voice for it. I can't do it now because like this is pre-puberty here. So yeah, no, it was very high-pitched and nasally, but it fit, right?
Yeah.
So putting myself in a place of not self-deprecation, but like I can be the punchline by just moving my body, right? And LeFou was a very physical character in that way. So I was happy to do it, and I was happy to push myself a little bit outside of my comfort zone.
Does it ever get to you though, like being the punchline and being like the, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it does and it doesn't, which is like a super cop-out answer.
How does it doesn't? How does it not?
It doesn't in the fact that there is like power in knowing how to control it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that are trying to be entertainers and they don't really know how to use the instrument that is their body.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm a master at by any means, but I know that I got a big canvas to work with, and if I want to paint it as a big grizzly bear, then I can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just a matter of having the confidence in it, I guess.
And then it gets you.
Yeah.
You ever think about it? Like, what do you think about at 3 a.m.? You're like thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, it gets rough.
Yeah, sometimes like I say jokes and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. That was too much. You know?
I mean, I think for me the biggest thing ultimately is being a stereotype.
Being a stereotype, okay.
The stereotype's
like
a big thing.
Yeah.
Like growing up, you always watch your favorite TV shows, your favorite movies as a kid, and you're like, that main character guy, that's the cool guy. It's the skinny fit dude, right? And I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, like Captain America or like
Captain
Thor,
America, yeah.
like these like athletic guys, and usually if they have like their bigger cast member with them, it's either like the bad guy or like the kind of funny sidekick.
Yeah, the funny sidekick, I was gonna say, yeah.
It's very rare that you see actually like a really cool, like oversized main character in that way. So I guess where it gets me ultimately is just the feeling of you're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. So
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I try to maintain a pretty chill personality because you see so many big guys having to have that energy, like Chris Farley and Jack Black. And like, I don't want to fall into that when I'm meeting people, but I can be that if it fits the time.
Yeah. But would you see yourself as like the main character of a short film, a movie, like in that aspect? Because you said like the big guy is usually the sidekick, or
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. When I was in TFS, I did try and do one or two like serious things, main character things.
Yeah, were they more serious there at TFS? I want to talk to you about it after, but go on.
Yeah, TFS, they try to take things very seriously.
Yeah.
A lot of people have problems with TFS. I had an excellent experience. But like the one thing I did, it was a short movie I called Pitfall.
Okay.
And basically all it was it's supposed to be this guy who is watching TV, right? And it's super late at night, and everyone has the in-bed bad thoughts, but this guy is just watching TV. Because originally in my mind, I did see him laying in bed having the thoughts. I'm like, but you're not going to be able to see his face. It's nighttime, whatever. So if it's in front of a TV, you're lit up and you can see it. So it was this monologue I wrote that was... it almost felt like too true that I didn't want to admit it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But the best comedy comes from truth.
That's the thing. Like... It was so true that I'm like, no, that's not me. Come on. What are you talking about, man? Like, you're not this depressed. Maybe you are. Maybe you should address these things, right?
Yeah. But art is the best self-expression. Like they say expression, the opposite of depression is expression. So like these things... at least what I try to do, I try to get into like these very vulnerable moments. Like in my head, when I thought of my set I did today, I'm like, where is the most amount of shame that I felt?
Right.
You know, maybe not ever, but like recently. And I'm like, this has been something that's been I don't know. I've been like chasing girls like my whole life, and sometimes it works.
Fair enough, man.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like, I have a fear of getting like canceled, or I have a fear of all those things. So that's why I wrote into my bits. If you want to share the short film, how did it went? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the motive of the character? What was he sad or depressed about?
I think it was kind of falling into those stereotype things again. It was. I remember like one of the lines. Oh, how'd it go? It was like, yes, I'm not a show.
I'm not a show.
Yeah, like my entire life isn't devoted to entertaining other people. It's supposed to entertain me. Like, some people go about life thinking they're the main character of their own film. I'm like, yes, to an extent, but why can't that film make you laugh while you're in it? I guess it's a weird concept. I'm still working on it, but
so it's not for others, but for yourself. But wouldn't that still be a show for yourself?
Yeah, I can be a show for myself. That's fine.
But like, fuck other people. Basically.
Yeah, I don't.
Other people's opinion on you.
Yeah, because like growing up, that was the biggest thing. Like,
Oh, yeah?
what did my teachers think about me? What did my fellow classmates think about me? I want to make sure that they like me so that I don't get made fun of and all that shit, right? I think that's like most artists.
Yeah, most comics, yeah.
They go through
Comedy's
some-
like a defensive mechanism.
Exactly, yeah. If you can entertain someone, then they are too busy laughing and not thinking about
Not
all
making
your
fun of
faults.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a bit of that.
Did you get out of that whole thing of other people viewing you and judging you? Did you?
I still think about it.
Yeah.
And I still know that people are naturally curious beings, right? So like if like our first day of classes, right? Everybody's scanning. Everyone's looking at each other like, okay, what's that? What's this guy like? What's she like?
Oh, yeah?
Okay, yeah. Well, at least maybe that's just me and I'm a sociopath, but but like I don't want to say like I present the person that I want people to think of me as. I think of it as I'm presenting my coolest version of me. It's not maybe the most authentic. I'm not giving you what I'm thinking all the time, but whoever really says what they're thinking all the time.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how I go about it.
Yeah, I used to do that as well. And then I got to a point where I even got this tattoo on my ass. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that to you. I got this tattoo on my ass. It's a kiss my ass, because my whole thing now is just like the only person that matters in my life is me, and I don't need to entertain others. I don't need to, like, everything I do. What steps and what things am I doing? Activities that I'm doing to elevate my own happiness. You know, maybe it's a kind of selfish thing. I want to write a bit about how humans are like the most selfish creatures on the planet. Maybe it's just me that I'm fucking selfish. I care about my own happiness. But yeah, I got over, I kind of thought, like, who really cares what other people think? At least for me, I try to be as authentic as I can and say the things that I want to, but sometimes I go too far. And then I'm like,
Yeah, okay, wait a minute. Let's backward up a bit here.
I said a line to a girl I was at a Condo Casino night. This was part of my bit. And then I was like, should we make intense eye contact while doing this? And I was like, everyone at the Condo Casino night was like,
Yeah.
I was like, it's too much. Fuck. But yeah, man. How authentic would you say you are when you're just like with other people? When you're, I want to get to the questions eventually, though.
No worries. Yeah.
I asked you, but how authentic would you say?
Like on an average day, like we go into class.
Yeah.
It's especially
weird. Are you putting a play? Are you putting the Hunter play on, or is it?
Kinda, like yes and no. And again, I say yes and no a lot. But like going into class, especially with a class full of comedians, it's very different. I'll have things I want to say.
Yeah.
I won't always say them, and that's probably just the extent of it. I think the only thing I'm really putting up is just like this front of I'm just chilling.
Just chilling.
But I'm not actually just chilling.
What are you actually doing?
My mind's usually just always racing.
Just going fucking crazy?
Yeah, I'm like, no, this would be fucking hilarious right now. But then I'm like, no, wait, that's probably a bad idea because of this, that, and the other, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Because you said that earlier today, like an hour ago. I could cut this out. I'm going to cut this out if it's too much. But what were you... remember, like, they're just like, Joe's your friend? And then it was like silence. And then you're like, I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
What was going through? I was talking to Graham about that after. I was like, dude, was that fucking weird? Like, I felt like that like, brought the mood so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you get filled in. Like, there's so many spots where there's that awkward silence. And I'm like, the only thing you can do is like a relaxed joke like that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of ease everything down. Because not everyone's on that same page as you are. Even I was kind of like that. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
threw me the fuck up. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put too much thought into it.
But what were you thinking? You're like, because you say your mind goes to blah, blah, blah when you're saying, I'm just chilling.
Oh, yeah. Like, the thing I was thinking in that moment was two things.
What?
Was one...
I'll cut this out if it's...
No.
Let's hear it.
The first thing was one, I can't wait to go home and have a shower. And then
That's
two...
fair.
Yeah. It's so hot here.
Yeah, it's hot right now. I'm fucking burning up.
Yeah, this room's a sauna. But, yeah, and number two was... It's still only, like, a weekend. We're all gonna have our immediate opinions, granted. But this is something that I learned and then pretty much everyone in my immediate family, they learned too when they did their post-secondary experiences, was that usually the person maybe you don't click with at first could end up being the person you're super tight with at the last bit, right? Like, those flows and those relationships will change.
Yeah.
Right? We have whatever group we have now, and we're going to get to know them more, and then we're going to have situations with these people, and then it's like, okay, this is how I saw you deal with this. Now my opinion of you is a little bit different. It could be for better or for worse, and that's the part we keep to ourselves, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's just about trying to make the best out of all of it, and trying not to piss anyone off. Like, there's no sense.
Piss anyone off. Yeah.
Like, there's no point.
Yeah, exactly. Even though some comedy is meant to just piss people off.
There's a lot of comedy like that. That's just not my kind of comedy.
Most of my comedy. Cool. I asked you a couple questions. I asked all my guests some questions before they got on the show. I asked, what theme are you going through in this phase of your life? The theme I'm currently going through, this is what you said. The theme I'm currently going through is self-understanding. Where am I going? Where do I want to go? And can I control it? So, it seems like over the past, like, your whole life, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 20 on the 22nd. I'll be 21.
21. It seemed like for most of your childhood and most of your adult life, or the early 20s, you're focusing on comedy, focusing on being a show. What do you think, like, are you still trying to understand yourself in that aspect? Like, what parts of you do you not know about yourself?
Yeah, actually, because you're right. Yeah, most of my life I did have, like, the push to be the funny person or the entertainer in any given situation. Like, being the guy in the huddle or the group that isn't getting the laugh will piss me off. I'm like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like someone laughed at their thing more than my thing. Fuck all y'all.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but then I'm like, no, that's an irrational thought. I need to stop this, right? Like,
Yeah.
I did focus a lot on being that person, but I think the part that I'm trying to understand is the parts outside of that. The parts like what do you like when you want to be serious? Because when I want to be serious, I cannot help but add little jokes or some kind of levity because it feels unnatural.
Yeah.
It feels weird. Doesn't feel like me.
It takes the seriousness away. It takes kind of like the power and like the shitty things away. Like, I've had a moment where I'm trying to, like, not reveal too much information, but like the cops had to get called at some point in my experience of life. And then a way for me and my little brother to kind of, like, you know, not make it so serious was we put, like, the bad boys that was really fucking cranking and going to the gym because, like, you're trying to, like, life is fucking hard. Like, it's you know, there's this thing, it's a philosophical quote, it's like, life is suffering. I think it's one of the Buddhist quotes, life is suffering. So then how do you find the antidote to suffering? And most, at least everyone in the fucking program, it's comedy.
It's comedy.
Comedy gets rid of it. But the seriousness parts of yourself, like, is there any particular thing where you're kind of like shackling? I don't know. It's not the right word.
Attaching.
Attacking right now, where you're just like, fuck, like, this is hard to get through, you know?
Yeah, I think my most current one is different than the one that I've been battling the most, like, throughout my entire life. The one I'm currently looking at, it's kind of hard to explain these things, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it's not the not being funny, or it's not the being serious. I think it's just, like, finding a middle ground that's not anything. Like, not having to be funny, not having to be... You don't have to be something.
Just be.
Just be. Just live. And I try to live things moment to moment.
Yeah.
As much as possible. But there is still, like, a constant push of, you should be presenting this emotion because it's going to make things better, or you're going to feel like this, right? So, like, it's a pretty rare thing to see me in a public setting where I'm, like, openly pissed off or like, you know, like, sad about anything. It's just either I'm quiet, which means that it's probably some kind of negative emotion I'm suppressing, or I'm going to be loud and I wouldn't say obnoxious. Some people would call me obnoxious. I don't think I'm obnoxious. But that's just probably because I'm over-caffeinated and just in a good mood, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it's either I'm on and I'm trying to get people to view me in a certain way, or I'm off because I'm battling my own things. I think that's everybody, though, in their own way.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, you know, before this program, even like during the past couple months, I've just been like trying to avoid emotion entirely because I'm like, I don't feel good all the time. You know, for my whole life, actually, most of it's been trying to feel anything.
Right.
And just work. If you work, you will get money. And then when you get money, you will provide. And then when you provide, you will be loved. It's like this weird thing where it's just like, now I'm constantly working like 18-hour days just so I can like avoid feeling. But I think feeling is like extremely important.
Yeah.
Every aspect of yourself. I guess feeling the seriousness part is hard for every comic to do.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the biggest thing, at least for me, I think everyone has it. Everyone knows this feeling, but primarily where if I want to feel a certain emotion, like, you know what, today maybe I'm not feeling the best, I'm going to kind of drive that more with music, right? Everyone's got a playlist that they listen to at a certain point in time in their life, right? And it's like, on this day, I'm feeling like this is the playlist I have for it. Now, I do my Spotify differently. I don't have playlists. I just keep the songs in order of how I download them. And
really?
Like,
just all the like songs?
Yeah, all the songs. So I have like over 1,600 songs, and I just know where they are. And
what?
Yeah, no, it's seriously. Yeah, I find it better because when you're scrolling, you can see it's like, oh wow, back in like June of 2020, this is what I was listening to, and then I can remember that like exact month better. Right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
it kind of brings you back to this.
Yeah.
This is the phase of life I was going through at this point
exactly.
of life. Yes, I completely understand.
So, kind of going back to like the seriousness of it all, the only way I find that I can properly not express but understand and feel certain tougher emotions is if I'm listening to a band that can properly show off that feeling, and music's probably the best way to translate emotion.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be like, okay, here. It just doesn't work. So, yeah, like if I'm really feeling down, I'll listen to a band called Alice in Chains. They're this awesome band. And it definitely helps me if I'm in a spot.
Yeah, I completely understand. Like, music has a way kind of giving you messages or like... Yeah. You know, me and this girl back like a year or two ago, we would send each other like music to like with these subliminal messages, and I'm
it's light flirting.
What is this fucking thing? I don't like.
It's like too much work already.
Yeah, I'm like, can we be fucking just honest and just communicate?
Yeah,
it's a great way to communicate because you can't really express it yourself, so you use music as an outlet. But I think that's what most art is. Art is basically expressing the human experiencing like what's your human experience, and can you express it in a creative way?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I love about art is that right, expressing those things. And there's this one feeling I've had since like for as long as I can remember, honestly, but it probably happened more around high school, like grade 9, grade 10, is presenting something that off, just like looking at it at a glance, it's funny and it's cool, right? Whatever. But then if you actually look in just a little bit deeper,
it's beyond the surface.
Yeah, it's actually just crushingly depressing.
Oh yeah, like what? Can you give me an example? Well,
it kind of works with the whole comedy thing.
Yeah.
In that you do. I don't know how I'm gonna express this. I wish there was a song for this.
I wish there was some art for this.
Yeah.
Make a song. So make a set about this.
But it's the it's the clown that's on stage.
Yeah.
Got the big nose, got the shoes, the hair, everything. They're doing flips and spinning plates off their nose. I don't know.
Yes.
Clown shit, know. And say they're performing at a kid's birthday party or something like that. And it's like if there was a way that if there was like a camera in the situation, I could zoom in on the person without the makeup, and then you hear like what they're thinking through the thoughts. Like, am I going to be able to make rent? Am I going to pay my alimony and see my kids like that's a very specific story.
Yeah.
But take that same basic like feeling and you could put that into pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's like our inner dialogue that we're afraid to say. I think that's why comedy is so popular, because it's like, what are we afraid to say as humans, and what can someone else express it that way? So the comedy that I'm trying to do, and I want to ask you about like where you're headed towards your comedy journey, or like what voice you kind of want to have.
Right.
The personal voice that I want to do is I want to express truth. Like, that's why I asked, my third question was, what is the ultimate truth you've realized? Because I think truth is the most honest, like, form of human emotion. And then when you're able to express that truth and be vulnerable, it's human connection. And then that's how you connect. So at the end of the day, it's like love, I would say. So what human truths or what vulnerabilities and what, like, shitty things can I joke around about my own life, so people can kind of connect with it? Yeah. And I think the biggest one for me for the past fucking couple of years is like kind of this whole idea of the rat race. And I feel like we're all fucking cogs in a machine, and we're all fucked, you know? Like, the only way out is business or become a monk. And who the hell wants to become a monk?
It's either spirituality or like greed in a way.
Yeah, it's like it's literally, it's like, what can you do to become this best version of yourself, but also like taking money from something, or just let go of everything and then don't do anything. But then I feel like just doing nothing leads you to depression as well. Like, both ends leads you to a bad place. So then what's the way out? I guess that's just understanding yourself, you know? Maybe that's just like a whole worldly thing, but where would you say your comedy, what kind of voice do you want to have as a comic?
I think I want to be the comic that's like that doesn't resort to negativity.
Negativity, okay.
Like growing up, I grew up in a Christian family.
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm strong in my faith to a degree. You know, it's hard to be a comic and a Christian. But yeah, man, like, because I know deep in my heart, what I long for is to, you know, start the rest of my life tomorrow. You know, I want to have the be-all, end-all of what I want the end of my book to be like, if that makes no sense.
What do you want your book to be like?
I just want...
If you were to paint it or write the words in it.
I don't want to say fairy tale ending, but I know I want to have a family.
Oh, okay.
Right? And I know I want to have a good place for them to live, and I want to also do it by getting money from something I love doing, which is, you know, comedy, entertaining of some sort, like even like just expressing anything, you know, that you're willing to put on the table and show in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, that's a part of the reason why I play guitar. Like, one, it's just a super awesome skill. It's pretty awesome, But, like, who knows if I get to a place where there's, like, a platform where I'm like, okay, this sketch is about a guy who plays guitar. It's like, now I can play guitar and potentially get noticed playing guitar. And then maybe I do concerts, some kind of comedy parody concert, like Weird Al or something, right?
Like Steve Martin, he does that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you can be good at something and not turn it into a joke. But at the same time, if you can turn it into a joke while still having people realize that it's a serious thing, I think that's a pretty big deal. That's
why I'm like, my end goal would be like, you know Fleabag?
Yeah.
Louis, that's another good TV show. BoJack Horseman.
I love
Perfect example.
BoJack Horseman so much.
Seriousness plus comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the perfect, at least for me, that's the films that I want to create. Something that has like a message, but also can be funny. More like, I feel like I do too much, like my old content was like really serious shit. Talking about fucking alienation, Karl Marx and shit, like getting really into philosophy. Boring, but like you need humor in order to counter it.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. The theme you're currently... Oh, you mentioned earlier there was like something you've been struggling with your whole life and then something that was recent. Which one was the one that you said?
Right, yeah, I said the recent one, I believe.
Well, it was the one your whole life, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sharing. The biggest thing that I definitely had a hard time going through, and to a degree I still do.
Yeah.
But I try and make it seem like it's less serious than I feel like it is, right? Seeing if I can find not a person, I want to find the person.
Find the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a long time of like self-hatred going on.
Oh,
there
yeah?
was a lot of, man, you just ain't it. No matter what you do, you're just, I don't know, you're just the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
Right? It's interesting because I would watch movies like American Pie.
Yeah.
And legitimately, to the bone, hate them.
Really?
Seriously. Because for the longest time, I thought it almost promoted bullying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like falling in love.
Well, to a degree, like I wouldn't say falling in love, but in these movies, say there's some guy, he finds a love interest, and this guy is like he's like lower status. He's like, I would never thought of myself as the nerd of any group. I'm not that smart. But like you see nerds in movies like that, and say they actually do find like their like dream woman,
girl.
right? And it's kind of a joke. It's like, oh my goodness, she's a 10 and you're a 2. Like, so in those movies, you usually see like that nerd's like group of their friends. Either they're on board with it, or like the enemy group, the other frat house, sabotages it. And the joke is that he no longer gets to see that chick anymore. And he has to suffer with loneliness all the time. And it's kind of a stupid thing.
No, I completely agree, because it is in our biological nature to, like, one time I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, what's the meaning of life?
Just going right for it, yeah.
I'm like, Dad, what's the meaning of life? He's like, it's to procreate and feed yourself, which technically he's right. That's at the bottom, like, of what humans are, because we're animals at the end of the day. Animals who knows how to use smartphones. It's to mate, and it's to work, and the whole mate thing, it's hard because it's basically like, okay, how, like, I feel lonely,
right,
and I feel like shit. How do I not feel lonely? How do I not feel like shit? And it was a part of my bit. I'm like, well, this is why men get up in the morning and fucking lay bricks and shit.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to become the best version of ourselves, so we can get someone potentially and, fall in love, meet the one, and live a happy life. But it's hard. Like, how do you fucking do it? Where's the fucking book?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, all my shit. Yeah, one realization I had the other day, my friend asked me, how many first dates have you been on? And I listed it all out. And then I was like, I never asked a girl out. I've never done it.
Right?
They've always asked me out, and she was like, you see the problem. And I'm like, I've always fallen into it. I've never actively done it, because if I actively do it, there's a fear of getting rejected, embarrassed, Me Too'd. That's another part of my set. Jesus Christ. Like, this is all, see, my set's like all my subconscious. I hope it's other people's subconscious, and this is just me
absolutely.
Thinking.
Like, if you're, like, on track to success, and that's hopefully what we're doing here. Like,
hopefully. Yeah.
Right? And you got good momentum going, and then you make one decision. It could fuck up your entire life. Just like that, man. Like, it doesn't matter if you're intoxicated or not. Like, you make a fuck up, you fuck up everything. Yeah. And that's a scary thought. Because life's about making mistakes. Yeah. That's a different kind of...
not crazy mistakes.
That's a different level. Let's just state that for sure. This isn't I accidentally spilled a glass of water or anything. But, like, I don't know, man. Yeah. It feels like people are a lot more... no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say almost a little bit more uptight about those things.
They are, yes.
They used to... I'm not saying that... Going back in time, things were better. I don't know where I'm going with this.
It's all the time.
It's always in a state of chaos for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think there's a lot of people who are ready to jump to that.
Yeah. But we need each other as humans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love is so important. And loneliness fucking sucks, and it hurts, Mm-hmm. It's the worst feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But going on.
Before we get canceled for this.
I don't think we said anything to fucking get canceled. The second question: is there anything you're currently struggling with at the moment? I'd like to ask people that, because I think life itself is about solving problems.
Yeah.
My grandpa complains all the fucking time. I'm like, Papa, did you forget that life is literally just problem solve, and happiness comes from solving. But no, after you solve it, there's a new problem. There's a better problem. That's the thing. You're trying to get better problems in this life. But I asked you, is there anything you're currently struggling with at the moment? Currently struggling with multiple addictions that I feel are necessary to make me the person I enjoy spending time with. Before you answer that, because I know it could be very hard, I'll talk about fucking something I was addicted to. Back in 2018, I was addicted to doing psychedelics, like all the time.
Right.
And, it's not that bad. But I was going fucking crazy, taking it all the time, it got to a point where, my friends were just like, we're going to stop hanging out with you if you fucking keep doing this. And because I would do it and just not tell them. Because in my mind, I'm like, fuck, life is so fucking boring. Psychedelics makes it more exciting.
Right.
And yeah, it makes it more exciting. And I would do it, just not tell them. And then, I could have lost a bunch of friendships. But
For sure.
I didn't, thankfully.
That's
but
good.
that was something I was addicted to. And it sucked. My whole bit... for my set that I had to do for class, it was about porn addiction. I want to say I was fucking addicted to porn. I was exaggerating.
I wasn't addicted, okay?
I just think porn's bad. It's bad for people because, like I said, we're meant to be together and we're meant to mate, and that just ruins the incentive. Why should we get up in the morning? Why should we lay fucking bricks if kids are just gonna buy feet pics on OnlyFans? Tried to cut off my 5 addictions. I think the society's 5 addictions, I've cut them all off now because I'm trying to live the most healthiest lifestyles. Video games, fast food, drugs, social media, and porn. But I'm a very fucking extreme person.
That's the thing, though, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of has, especially social media.
Yeah, social media. Yeah, that's why I don't even have Instagram anymore. So
That's
this is just
smart.
YouTube stuff.
Honestly, I'm thinking about getting rid of it.
And not even TikTok, too, because I hate short-form content. I only do long-form
That's fair.
I only do long-form YouTube because I think short-form content is fucking up our brains.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, we're becoming like fish that have only 3-second attention spans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Nathan, for you, graduate of this program, creates a 30-minute show. I think there's so much value in long form.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyways, going on multiple addictions, if you feel like sharing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
What's something that, so you feel like you need something to feel hunter, the hunter character?
Yeah. But yeah, I'll just list mine off here. So number 1, probably the one I use the most is nicotine.
Yeah. And nicotine's hard to kick.
Nicotine's so fucking hard to kick.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And especially with you get the 20 nic pods, because I vape. I don't smoke. I'm a bitch.
Is it better? Is it worse? I don't know.
Because a lot of people are in it for the nicotine, because human brains crave nicotine the strongest. That's what my mom told me. She's a nurse practitioner.
Is there a reason why?
I didn't really want to know, to be honest. I'm I can kick this whenever I want. That's fine. Yeah, it's not that bad. No, but nicotine's the strongest one. And it's one of the first things I'll do in the morning.
Oh yeah, right when you wake up.
Oh yeah,
right by your bedside.
In bed.
In bed, okay.
Because you get a head rush, right?
Oh, do you? Okay.
If you're smart about it. If you do it too often, you won't get a head rush. You'll feel maybe a little bit of rattling in your teeth, but you won't. If you do it too often, you just won't feel it. You'll end up getting a headache or something.
What's the benefit of a head rush?
Because it feels like you're high for 30 seconds.
Really?
30 seconds is exaggerating. It's probably more like 15 or 20.
If you were to describe it to someone sober who... I think I've done nicotine once. I've done a vape pen, which I thought was just only weed.
Right.
At the time. But I was like, there's something in this that if you were to describe it to a sober person, because I did that 5 years ago. I kind of don't remember. What was it? What would be the feeling? Like a roller coaster?
Right, yeah. So imagine, you kind of had it there with the roller coaster. Imagine you're at the top of the Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland, right?
Okay.
And you're just kind of going down. It's like that.
Like that?
But added with, imagine... So, everyone's got a core workouts, all that crap. Imagine that core was an actual ball inside of you, okay? And it was vibrating, and it made you kind of vibrate. But not twitch, you're freaking out or anything.
It's coming up?
It's you're moving without moving. if that makes sense.
It's moving, but not moving.
You're not moving your body, but it feels like you're going
moving.
super fast, like to the point where it's like blurred out. You know.
Would exercise be a alternative if it's movements at the end of the day?
Well, because I do go to the gym, not as often as I should, but like it definitely is not the same. No. I think the addiction part with the gym. I'm not addicted to the gym. I wish I was. Shit. Yeah. I think honestly it just comes from like the ego lift, I think.
Oh yes. You're like, I gotta lift like fucking 400.
Yeah.
Lift. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you get a pump going, you're like, man, my arms look fucking awesome.
Yeah, you're like flexing in the gym and shit.
Yeah. Like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since I've been going to the gym, I've lost a lot of that self-hatred.
That's
which
great.
Is amazing.
That's amazing, yeah.
A huge deal.
Health is the number one important thing to get out of like a fucking rut, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I found out way too late that like humans, like when you sleep and you wake up, you have a day full of energy ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And if you spend it sitting on the couch, watching TV, playing video games for the whole day, you still have that energy ready to go. It just had nothing to do except move your thumbs around, you know? So going to the gym, it's like you're spending that energy, and if you go a little extra, then you're putting yourself in a little energy debt, you know? But you're moving. You're doing your purpose.
Exactly.
Right?
So nicotine's not like that?
Nicotine's not like that.
Okay.
No, nicotine is purely just... This is gonna make me feel good for the next 15 seconds.
Okay, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I thought you said 15 to 20 minutes.
No, seconds.
Oh, seconds.
Did I say minutes already?
I thought you did. Maybe.
I meant seconds. Yeah. But yeah. So Nicotine. Nicotine's there.
It's a tough one.
Weed. I've been smoking or ingesting weed for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
Pretty much straight every day.
Every day?
I can't remember the last time I had a tea break.
Oh, yeah?
But I'm noticing now, like after all this time, like my reference level is going down.
Oh, really?
Like me being able to come up with something on the spot, or even just conversation like this. Like I feel like I'll start something, I'll start talking, and then I'll have a side story, and then I'll talk about that for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, how do I circle that back to? And this is how I'll end the sentence. It's like it doesn't really fit, but I'm just trying, you know.
Just trying.
Yeah.
Is the weed addiction different than the nicotine addiction in any way?
Yeah. I would say so. Because I don't feel the need to take a hit of like my dab pen like every half hour. There are people out there that are like, I need that, right? Yeah. At least lately, I'm doing it maybe 4 times a night, right? Yeah. And it's just, 1, sleep. To help us sleep.
Yeah.
2, it's become routine, you know?
Yeah, it's just hard to break it.
It is really hard
to break it. It's like if you go for a walk in the morning or something. It's just
exactly. It's probably what I would imagine is like the least harmful of my addictions. Yeah. But I think also just, if you think of it in a way of like compound interest.
Oh, yeah, it's just like banking in your fucking system.
Yeah, over time, I think it's going to really mess me up. Like, for example, I was in my English class on Monday. Yes. And I was just sitting there. I was like super tired. I'm like, fuck, I'm so tired. I don't want to be here, right? Yeah. I was looking at the whiteboard and I was just staring into space. And I noticed that the letters on the whiteboard slowly started moving up and down. I'm like, fuck.
That's just being too high? Like,
no, I'm not entirely sure. I think a part of it, because like when you ingest or smoke weed, it stores in your fat cells.
Oh, okay.
Right? And if I'm going to the L building or whatever building my English class is in, I'm biking there. Yeah. Right? And so I asked my mom, the nurse practitioner, this. If you were exercising and, you're using like that fat as energy, can you get high? Right? And she's like, you won't get high, but effects will happen. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Effects will happen. You're still gonna be able to drive? And she's like, yeah, but like, you might notice some things. And I'm like, shit, man, okay. I got 3 years of weed in this thing, and I'm like biking every day now. So like, Yeah, there's definitely been some noticeable things like that.
Crazy.
Like the board.
No idea.
Yeah, man, it's some people, like, I'm trying to see it in a cool way, but if I do that for too long, I'll just kind of enable myself to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to get to a place where I'm strong enough to stop when I want, but I'm also in a place of I'm trying not to purposely freak myself out, because what if I've done some real damage?
Well, have you ever tried just dopamine detoxing? Like, just...
No.
Like, just get rid of everything, like, right on the fucking thing.
Man, yeah, nothing like that. I know I really, really should, but I'm a guy that I can't stand still.
Oh, yeah?
Either I can't stand it, I need something going on, or I'm so okay with it that I don't want to, like, leave it. Right? Like, I just kind of get trapped in there. Like, I could just sit here, stare into space for a couple hours.
But not do anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't
drugs.
Move. I wouldn't...
Like, no weed, no nicotine.
No.
Just sit here and just...
It would help if I'm a little extra tired. I will say, it kind of helps me go into that dreamscape a bit more, but, like... Yeah, I could totally just zone out and just think weird, dumb things. Bad.
Perfect
dumb
for sketch,
things.
though.
Perfect for sketch, yeah.
Guys, we're gonna fucking start doing some sketches.
We are.
Some video sketches. So
oh yeah.
That's another thing. I'm gonna do this podcast bi-weekly. I'm gonna try. A lot of got a lot of comics, but the other weekly, I'd like to create some sketches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try and be funny. Try.
Exactly.
Do you have a third addiction? You don't have to say it, but I think rule of threes is a little comedy thing.
It is. And I think this is a really common one. There is drinking.
Drinking, yes.
Drinking's so awesome. It's so great. Especially if you're doing it really early on in the mornings. After, they're not that bad at first. If you
like
really,
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, if you really fuck up, then yeah, you'll have a bad hangover. But like if you're not drinking all the time and you're under the age of, like, I think 30 or something like that, your hangovers are fine.
Oh yeah.
But
does that not store in your body somehow?
Probably. It's all in here somewhere, man. I don't know. But I have a few problems when I drink. Just like everybody, you got to be careful with drunk texting.
Oh yeah.
It's not that I'm admitting feelings or anything to that, but man, I am just like the best hype man.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll
Hyping
text
the boy up.
Yeah, like I'll text someone I haven't texted in like 9 years.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, hey man, what's going on, dude? Yeah, listen, it was really cool seeing you the other day. Probably didn't even see
the other
it,
day,
right?
9 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Like elementary school.
Honestly,
we graduated from fucking grade 8 together.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you up to these days? And they'll tell me, and it was probably like some bullshit answer in real life I wouldn't really care about. And then I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's so great you're doing that, man. Good job, right?
So you wouldn't do that if you're sober?
No, I'd just be like, oh, that's cool, man. It's a lot more chill.
Just be chill.
No, but the enthusiasm's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think you could bring that up sober?
I could.
Yeah.
Just not for a long time.
Not for a long time. That's fair.
I could probably maintain a good 2 minutes of authentic enthusiasm. That's
fair. Yeah. I just feel like when you do these things, at least when I was doing these things, it felt like I was putting on a character versus who I am, because I need this substance. And to be fair, I fucking drink coffee, so that's like
caffeine's a big one.
Yeah, caffeine. I don't drink 8 cups, but I drink 1 coffee.
Sure, yeah.
But you put a character on of not you. It's not you. It's like. An exaggerated version of you. Yeah. But like it kind of is like where is the line start of character versus me? You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, it's almost where you want to put it.
Yeah.
Right. Like if there is these like 2 sides of you, maybe that's just what it's supposed to be, and then you can just decide which section of that is really you. I don't know. I think you can change who you really are all the time. You know, maybe it'll be hard, but like if like
you'll be playing a fucking character, like
like it'll be tough. Again, kind of going back to the sociopathic tendencies. Yeah. But I think, like, for example, like, you know, the whole like devil and angel on the shoulder thing, right? Like, there's also a philosophy thing called the elephant and the rider.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So there's instinct and then there's critical thought, right? But the way that I see it is that it's like my soul is having a conversation with my human body, and I'm like talking to myself and responding as myself. Like I ask myself questions and I answer them.
Okay.
So it's like, do I really want to do this? Yeah. Do I really not want to do this? Absolutely. And then I kind of just choose which one of those two makes more sense in the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
As creepy as that sounds.
Is there anything, this is like a huge thing in The Alchemist, your soul. Is there anything like your soul or the soul of the world has been telling you lately, or in your life's purpose or something?
I think like the main thing that's been coming to me that didn't originate from me. Yeah, I think it's just realizing things aren't as serious as you once thought they were. There was a time when living on your own seemed extraordinarily scary, and you're in a new place and you new people, and here we are, and you can kind of just bullshit your way through that.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
I feel like I've just been bullshitting my way through this, and I feel like I'm handling it pretty well.
Cool. We got 10 minutes left on the podcast. 2 big questions I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Third one, what is the ultimate truth you've realized? When you took mushrooms, you realized that ultimate truth was the people I wanted to like and love me sometimes aren't the people I should surround myself with.
Yeah.
What is your, for me personally, I was a big asshole back in the day. I don't know if I'm still an asshole. I hope not. I'm trying to be a good person. But I was that guy who was like, maybe I shouldn't be around my friends because I'm such a dick. And like, I have actually, half of my friend group don't talk to me anymore. Most of them were chicks because, because something happened I was going to tell you off the podcast. But, yeah, I was that guy.
Right.
But now you're realizing... there's people in your life that shouldn't be around yourself with. What experience have you had with that?
Yeah. After graduating high school, I looked at my high school years, like what I told myself going into grade 9 was, these are going to be some of the best years of your life. You have to make it good.
Yeah.
This has to be a perfect 4 years. And then I graduate. And then I realized that, like, I have, like, maybe 3 people I genuinely liked those 4 years. There were a lot more that I liked in the moment. Yeah. There were people that I wanted to like me in that moment. But then high school happens, and then maybe the original friend group you had, you realize they're all a bunch of buttheads. Or the people you wanted to like you, those are actually just terrible human beings, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, just because you want those people to see you in a certain light doesn't mean that those are the people that you should actually like form your life around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big believer in being a family man, right? I love my immediate family. We hang out and it's awesome, right?
Immediate family, you said?
Yeah, my immediate family. Yeah, like my sister, my parents.
Immediate family. Yeah. I heard media family.
No.
Like a film and something.
Right, yeah, no.
Immediate family,
immediate. Yes. Yeah, I gotta work on the enunciation and acting class. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm comfortable to just be relaxed and myself with my family. I think not everybody's like that. There's a lot of people that aren't like that, but I'm really lucky to have that, and I don't want to take it for granted. And I'm trying to be very careful who I let like too close to me, right? Because as I was saying before, like, there's a certain level of things I want to say, and then there's a certain level of things I will actually say, and there does come a time when I'll just say what I want, and I have to know that I can really trust the person that I can bring close to me and say those things freely and not feel worried. Like, I know I'll say some like dumb stuff, stuff that I'll look back and like, man, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Yeah. But I want that person that I bring close to be like, I know this was just a dumb moment. I know that's not what you're really like, though, overall.
Yeah.
And I think those people are really hard to find.
Yeah, it could be tough. I have had the same experience, maybe like 5 to 8 people from high school. I'm still friends with. Other than that, it's just like, everyone's gone,
Yeah.
which is fine.
disappeared, like they didn't exist.
Yeah, but it's okay, you know, because it's the important people. You know, my brother always told me, 4 quarters are better than 100 pennies. You know, having like all these fucking friends and not really mattering.
That's a cool thought.
Got 5 minutes left. This is how I like to close off most of my podcasts. For people who are watching this who are struggling with finding meaning or finding purpose, what advice would you give them?
Shit.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy.
Finding purpose. Man.
Yeah. Do you think you found purpose in life? I know it's a big topic.
I wouldn't say I've found purpose, but I think I've found a way to get to peace.
Peace.
I think peace is a big part of purpose.
I think
right?
I think happiness, I think what we're all searching for is happiness.
Yeah.
And happiness is peace of mind.
Yeah.
So peace of mind can be a wonderful way to say purpose, say meaning.
I would say then, in that regard, that it's trusting yourself.
Trusting yourself.
Making a decision, and then don't think it over 50,000 times if you're right or wrong. It's like, this is what my immediate gut instinct was. I'll think it over once or twice. But once I've made my decision, I want that to be my decision.
Yeah.
If I can't make one decision because I'm constantly going back and forth what I want to do, I'm not going to go forward. Right?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest part is just having the peace of mind to make your own decisions and being comfortable with that.
Yeah. I completely agree. Actually, this program, I was debating for months if I should even do it because I was like, the other way was to collect hours on set to get my actor credit or do this. And I'm like, do I really want to spend money? But like, it took me like fucking months, but now I'm actually very enjoying my decision. Meet cool people like yourself, make some fucking sketch and do some comedy, be funny, learn funny.
Yeah.
You know? Is there any big decisions that you made in your entire life or recently that affected the person you are today?
Yeah. The biggest decision that has had the biggest impact, I would say, that significantly helped me a lot, is you be okay with not actively looking for that person, that one, or
That's
like
fair.
that person that you just like. That if you're actively looking,
don't actively look.
You're never gonna find it.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, who in their right mind wants to be 80 years old and it's like, I found your mother because I was horny and wanted to go to a bar, right? It's like, nah, dude, you like, make it so that the beginning of your story is the way you want it to be. Like, yeah. I don't know.
No, I completely agree. It's like, don't chase butterflies. Build a nest or build a butterfly sanctuary.
Exactly.
And they'll chase you. Don't chase butterflies.
Yeah.
If you build a beautiful home and a beautiful environment, they'll chase you.
Exactly. And that beautiful environment is yourself.
It's your life.
It's because it's like, if people don't want to spend time with you already, and you don't want to spend time with you already, you got to work on that shit.
Exactly.
And that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to go to the gym. I've been trying to work on like having a more peaceful, less self-negative thought process, and it's been working. Yeah. So the biggest thing is to just make yourself a home you want to live in.
That's perfect. Beautiful way to end the podcast. All right, thanks for watching. Stay on Average Fools.
Thanks for watching the podcast. If you guys want to watch my comedy projects such as Chaos as Hospital releases wrong dead bodies to relatives. This was realized when said relative attempted to fornicate one last time with his alleged deceased spouse.
Oh my
God. This is your reminder that life will always be shit. Yeah.
Then consider subscribing to my Patreon, where you can view all my comedy content for just $5 a month. Thank you, and stay on Average Fools.